Hi guys, welcome to BDM After Patch, where we give you the short game plan for the week, discuss update details, and take a look at what we can expect in future updates. Please do like and subscribe for weekly videos. As soon as you log in, forage 3 times, use at least 500 ancient tablets, and defeat 3000 enemies to complete this daily event quest. Also collect your art puzzle event key and do the puzzles. For those of you who don't often do Battlefield of the Sun, try to do at least 3 matches to complete this event for additional Al-Yali fragments. There is a coupon code this week. You can copy paste it from the description of this video as well. There are now new Battlefield of the Sun victory rewards that cost Idana or Dark Coins instead of Chaos Crystals. Next week we will receive the Altar of Al-Yali, which will give us additional bonuses on top of our world boss levels above level 100, as well as stamina potion crafting, which is actually quite a big deal. In Korea, Chaos Tower of Trials has been released, as well as a 3rd character dispatch for Hadum knowledge. This possibly means players need 15 alts in towers and 3 gathering Hadum knowledge, and most of them will need to have decent CP. So instead of starting a new series covering my opinions on the state of the game, I just decided to add a segment. As a player since launch, my player side opinion is just one of many, but as someone who has had first-hand experience on the business side of a development company with our own in-house developers, I think I might be able to understand Prolabis a bit better when it comes to how complex their game actually is, and therefore how difficult it is to put out weekly updates while managing their business objectives and keeping the player base happy. To me, Black Desert Mobile is hands down the best mobile MMORPG currently available by a mile. If you are currently playing BDM and thinking of quitting, the question you should ask yourself is, what other game would you quit BDM to play? And how many people would actually leave BDM with you for that game? In addition, global servers are able to receive content that has already been tested on Korean servers, so we tend to get reasonable polish. Any MMORPG needs a constant flow of new players to replace those who quit. PA is, of course, aware of this and constantly introducing catch-up mechanics, but there is still content that requires alternate characters that seem more intimidating than it actually is. First, I want to talk about Chaos Gear. The introduction of Chaos Gear is a welcome addition to gear progression, but given the way they did it, it actually made me want Prolabis to buff Black Spirit mode loot drops. Let me explain. Keep in mind, I only use Black Spirit mode for maintenance. The real reason I thought it needed to be buffed is because players like me who were able to AFK their characters for 24/7 farming were more likely to get jewels and jump ahead in combat power, no matter how temporary that might be. Players who have to rely on Black Spirit mode were likely to feel discouraged and start to consider quitting the game. As an added benefit, players would consume less electricity. Black Spirit mode would have to be a viable option, as well as 24/7 AFK farming. You could argue that this might depopulate the game, but I do believe it would be possible to actually have your character still be in the game during BSM. It might have also been a better idea to introduce a different mechanic for gaining Chaos Jewels and Chaos Cores so that the disparity wasn't too big between AFK farmers and BSMers, such as a new dungeon or random quest that can be run once a day with a chance to drop, let's say, 15 to 20 cores. The Great Ocean has arrived to mixed reactions from players. As far as I understand from Korean players, this is content that feels like a chore to do and is not that enjoyable. During the Heidel Ball, there was mention of something being done about this, but reworking the entire thing is probably a larger task than most people understand. To me, I see this content as adding weekly chores to my life, which take me away from the gameplay of my characters and force me to play almost an entirely new game with a new character. When it comes to balance, I'm going to share my thoughts on balance before I heard about the much needed mass balancing done on Korean servers last week. When it comes to balance, it seems really strange to rework 1 or 2 classes to be so dominant, setting a new bar that the other classes won't be able to reach in the short or even mid-term. Good balance can only be an ongoing task of tweaking things bit by bit, and we will probably never achieve perfect balance. Balancing BDM is a lot more complicated than most players think. You have over 30 different classes in Korea, as well as mechanics other than PvE and PvP damage, such as hitbox, stealth, super armor, invincibility, forward guard, bleed, slow, combos, passives, unique character playstyles, all ahib, Labrev, Saret, number of hits, whether or not a character is able to maintain running speed after dodging or using a certain skill, how each class compares relative to each other unique class, and then you have to consider all the different types of content these characters will be used in, all whilst taking into account lag issues. It seems like Pearl Abyss until recently decided to simplify this task by tackling it from a narrow point of view by focusing on redesigning individual classes to make the problem seem more solvable. But every idea has its unintended consequences, and at the rate of buffing one class every 1 or 2 weeks, it would take at least 8 months to rework everything, and then balance would still not be achieved. Keep in mind, again, it's basically impossible to achieve and maintain the kind of perfect balance where only a player's skill matters. Balancing a game is a constant pursuit of trying to make different classes similar enough in performance after taking into account all the previously mentioned factors and more. All in all, I hope for the best when it comes to future changes to this game, and hope you guys enjoyed this discussion on the current state of the game. Thanks for watching.